All right, let's talk about a topic that causes, well, let's be honest, a lot of stress for parents: toilet training. But you know what? We're going to skip all the myths and the quick fix promises. Today, we are diving straight into the science of what it actually means for a child to be ready.
I mean, if you're a parent, I'm willing to bet you've asked this exact question. Maybe you've even yelled it into a pillow at 2 a.m. It can be so frustrating, right? It feels like you're doing something wrong. But the truth is, it's a huge struggle for so many of us, and for a really, really good reason. You see, the secret isn't some magic 3-day method or a sticker chart, though those can help. The real key, the game changer, is shifting our whole focus away from our technique and onto our child's own biology. It really is less about training and so much more about timing.
And look, this isn't just a nice parenting philosophy, it's science. Being ready for the potty is an incredibly complex milestone. It's not about learning just one skill, it's about the synchronization, the coming together, of all these different systems in their little bodies and brains.
So, to really understand what that synchronization looks like, we're going to break it all down. We're going to explore what I'm calling the 3 pillars of readiness. This framework is going to make everything so much clearer.
So pillar number 1, and this is the big one, the brain. It's the command center. Before anything else can even begin to happen, the brain has to have the right wiring installed. This is all about that incredible connection developing between the brain and the bladder. To get what a huge leap this is, we have to start with the factory setting for every single baby. For them, peeing is just a simple involuntary reflex. The bladder gets full, it automatically empties. That's it. There's zero conscious thought, zero control involved.
So the entire neurological challenge, the whole game really, is about the brain learning how to interrupt that automatic process. It has to develop this brand new ability to step in and say, whoa, hold on a second there.
So how does that actually happen? Well, it's this amazing 3-step sequence. First, the bladder sends that, hey, I'm full, signal up to the brain. Then, a part of the brainstem, called the pons, sends a crucial hold on signal back down. And it's only after that happens that the conscious part of the brain can step in and make the decision. Okay, now is a good time and place, go. So, the million-dollar question: when does this incredible wiring actually start to connect? Well, the science shows this process typically begins somewhere between 18 and 24 months. And that's just the beginning. Before that, a child just physically cannot be expected to control that reflex no matter how many times we put them on the potty.
Okay, so the brain's wiring is starting to come online. But even with the best software, you need the right hardware. So let's move to our second pillar, the body's hardware upgrade, or physiological readiness.
A really key part of this upgrade is understanding there are 2 different sphincter muscles at play. The internal one, that's totally automatic, part of that baby reflex. But the external one is a voluntary muscle, just like flexing your bicep. A child has to literally develop the strength and coordination to consciously control that muscle. That's what holding it is.
Now, beyond muscle control, there's another major physical sign we can look for, and it's pretty simple. As a toddler grows, their bladder literally gets bigger. It can hold more, which is a huge deal because it gives the brain way more time to get those signals and actually do something about them.
And how can you actually spot this happening? Well, here's a tangible benchmark to watch for. When your child starts staying dry for 2 hours or more at a time, or when they wake up from a nap with a totally dry diaper. That's your signal. That's a real sign their internal hardware is getting a serious upgrade. Now, what about nighttime? This is a completely different biological ballgame. It's mostly controlled by a hormone called ADH, and ADH's job is to tell the kidneys to slow way down on urine production while we sleep. Here's the kicker: many kids don't produce enough of this hormone until they're 4, 5, or sometimes even older. This is so critical to understand. It's why we have to separate daytime and nighttime training in our minds. Staying dry at night isn't a skill to be learned in the same way as daytime. It's a hormonal process that just has to mature on its own schedule. Okay, we've talked about the brain's wiring and the body's hardware. So let's move to our final pillar and see how this all comes together inside the child's mind. This is the psychological aha moment. Cognitively, you can actually watch this journey of awareness happen. It's a pretty clear progression. At first, they only notice they've gone, after the fact. Then, they start noticing it while it's happening. In the final step, the goal, really, is when they can feel that sensation before it happens and tell you about it.
So when they do get it right and we celebrate like they just won a gold medal, why is that so powerful? Well, it's pure behavioral science. When they succeed and we give them that positive reinforcement, their brain releases dopamine. And that little chemical reward literally strengthens the neural pathways that led to that success, making it way more likely to happen again.
But there's another huge piece of the psychological puzzle. Right around the same time all this other stuff is happening, toddlers are developing this powerful new sense of self. They realize, hey, I'm my own person with my own will. You might know it as the terrible twos.
And this new sense of independence directly impacts toilet training. If a child feels pressured or forced into it, the potty can suddenly become a battleground. They realize that what comes out of their body is one of the very few things they have absolute control over, and they might just withhold to prove that they're the boss.
Okay, wow, that was a lot of science, I know. So let's pull it all back out of the lab and put these three pillars together into a simple, practical tool you can actually use. So here it is. Think of this as your readiness checklist. You're looking for physical signs, like can they walk to the bathroom and pull their pants down? Biological signs. Remember, staying dry for 2 hours? Neurological signs. Are they showing you they know it's coming? And cognitive signs, like can they follow a simple instruction like, go get your shoes? And this really brings us to the most important point of this whole explainer. Readiness isn't one thing. It's not a single skill they master. It is a holistic picture. It's a combination of all these signs from the brain, the body, and the mind all coming online together. So I want to leave you with a final question, one that might just reframe this entire process for you. Is our real job to train them, or is it maybe to become patient, careful observers, just waiting to support them the moment their own biology finally tells us that they're ready?